It's Talk Tonight, the podcast of delights, and don't you know it? Talk Tonight, it's Talk Tonight.
So, welcome back to the Talk Tonight podcast. I'm delighted to introduce today's guest. It's Black Honey. How are you guys?
Woo! I'm good. How are you guys? You well?
I'm
Good, thank you.
very good. So we've got Izzy and Alex. Tommy may be jumping in at some point. We're not sure yet. Harry's with us also. I suppose
Hi.
just to kick it off, I think you can learn a lot about a person by what biscuits they like. So for you guys, what's your favourite biscuit?
Go on, Iz. You take the lead on that.
You're gonna. Okay, so guys, I am very much like, do you know those Belgian ones that are like a layer of hard, just like solid chocolate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wafer underneath, and they're like half and half, and when you dunk them, it's like melts the chocolate. I'm here for that shit. And then like anything that's like a penguin or just like anything that's like doused in chocolate. Like my mum got me like the chocolate biscuit milk tray thing, like the milk tray version of the chocolate biscuits from Tesco's for Christmas, and it's like heaven.
Yeah, that is a great choice. You're pretty on the money there, Iz.
What are you gonna say? Fucking digestive?
No, nothing shit. Do you know what? I don't know if we can name brands, so I won't say it, but it rhymes with Brett and Bretta Manager, and they do an amazing chocolate cookie. Like, it's like...
What's that? Like, what rhymes with Bretta Manager?
I know what you mean.
You know what? Yeah, it is
I was
you.
trying to think, but I can't think of anything.
Okay, Bretta Manager. Is that any better?
Andre?
Oh, right,
Yeah, but they do a banging chocolate chip cookie, right? And it's cooked so that the outside has got like this lovely crunchy breakaway bit, and then you go in and you've got this gooey, like amazing, you know, as Izzy mentioned, melt in the mouth texture.
I love it when you don't like know what's in there. You know what I mean? Like it's like a surprise.
Yeah,
Yes. Although I've been doing reviews of like all of the cookies around East London since being in London for this lockdown, and oh my god, the chocolate cookie game is unbelievable.
What's that?
One that we had the other day that was like, you know, when you get a flapjack and it's kind of like oaty, that the texture of flapjack, but as a cookie, but with melted chocolate.
wow.
Insane scenes. Like,
Do you know what I was listening to? Blossoms do a pubcast on Spotify, and they were talking about these stats and figures, right? And apparently you eat in an average lifetime, you eat over 35,000 cookies.
I reckon I'd probably surpass that already.
Right, so, I mean, I'm first of all disappointed you said digestives are boring, because nothing wrong with a digestive.
Well, if you're talking rich tea, like a rich tea plain one, shit, but like, you know, run of the mill, down the middle digestive, yeah, can't go wrong. No one's gonna get, you're not gonna get those out at a party. Well, maybe not a party, but you know, somewhere. You're not gonna bang those out. Someone's gonna go, "What the fuck are those?" You're gonna be it.
Yeah, definitely.
Really get approval, aren't you?
Yeah.
Are you tea or coffee people, or just pure alcohol?
Whatever's going. I'll have a toffee.
I like tea.
Half and half.
Like I couldn't like if someone was earlier was like if you had to choose one of them, I'd probably choose tea just because like I like can't live without tea. But
Same.
coffee is like a weird like druggy fuel for me that I feel like I'm so addicted to it by this point that like if I don't have a coffee by a certain time, I get migraines. And like, no one wants to be around me when I'm like that.
Oh, I know a few people like that. We have someone at work who literally lives and thrives off coffee, and I think a blend of cocaine to keep him through the day, but who knows? Who knows? But there's no way you're just that up all the time from coffee. I won't name names, but...
I'm going to go tea, I think, as well. I think that's a great shout. Coffee's like one of those ones. I was thinking about it like when I was younger and stuff. I was having like 4 cups of coffee a day. Right as rain, all good. If I have that now, I'm up for a week. Can't do it.
Bouncing everywhere.
What are you saying is?
After a certain amount of coffees, but with tea, it's like, I remember being like 8 and my mum giving me like caffeinated tea. Like my mum literally used to I used to have a special cup with a little tea on it. And my mum would give us cups of tea when we were 8.
Banging.
Bloody hell.
Right. I've just started working on a mate's studio, right? And I'm with these builders, and I thought my tea intake was good. I was having 2 a day. I was averaging. It's prescription there, 1 an hour without fail. You're on it.
That's how
40
it should
minutes
be.
work, tea break, and it's I'm there for it.
That's the only thing I've noticed working from home is like you have to do the tea rounds yourself, so I feel like you're less inclined to do it. Whereas if someone's going, "No, do you fancy tea?" Yeah, go on then.
Yeah, you need a flask, mate. You need a big flask.
Just dabble in it every few hours, right? So, sorry, Izzy, carry on.
Day, sorry to interrupt. Cooking for 3 meals a day.
Yeah.
3 meals a day is a
Long.
lot of thought process. Like, I started lockdown and I was like, I'm having roasts every day.
Yeah.
By now, literally, my lunch today was like mushrooms on toast. Like,
Nice.
I literally am like, I cannot be fucked to even think about another meal. Another meal. Like, how many times have we just got a croissant from Pret and been like, cool, job done, off we go?
Yeah.
No, I totally agree. I'm so bored of food at this point because we were talking the other day on the podcast. Like, the only thing we look forward to is the big trip to Tesco's every week.
Yeah.
That's literally all there is.
Have either of you had COVID yet? I'll take the reign. Well, I had it out of the band, and obviously had to do the isolation and everything, but didn't have any bad symptoms. The only thing that I got was no taste or smell. And we're saying about, oh God, cooking 3 meals a day. When I had it, it was even worse because you'd had nothing to look forward to. You couldn't even get up and have that tea or coffee. You can go and make yourself a roast or mushrooms on toast because you'd have it and you'd just be like, I can't taste anything. It really it threw me that, and I think a lot of people have had similar experiences.
Yeah, I had a bit of a cough back in January, and then ever since then, no symptoms, nothing, no positive tests. I've been quite fortunate because I know some people obviously for example, my former manager has had to retire from work. They've been that ill from COVID because the lack of oxygen led to them having a heart attack.
Oh my God, mate. Sorry to hear that.
Well, he wasn't the best manager, so swings and roundabouts, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, how have you found lockdown for yourself?
Oh, it's just been one of those ones. Oh, look at the dogs.
Oh, beautiful. Oh.
God. It's going to go to a dog conversation now for like the next 40 minutes, isn't it?
Oh, it's cute.
Beautiful.
That dog is unreal. In person as well. Shit, but amazing.
What's its name?
Zero.
What a name. I
Beautiful
like that.
dog, that.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Chilled as well, isn't it, at the moment?
But the COVID stuff and lockdowns, it's been I think it's safe to say it's been tricky for everyone. The first lockdown was one of those ones where everyone thought it was just going to be like a holiday and you could get at home boozing all the time, like you said, cooking, which was great. But then, we came out of it, had another little one in November, was it? And then I think this one's been the most testing because it's been like, right, there's nothing new here. Nothing's really moving at the minute. And it was just trying to keep that almost try and keep a positive mental outlook of, this is going to end at some point.
Yeah.
And really try and stay on it. I mean, just trying to keep on top of things, practicing, Izzy's been fortunate enough to do a few like sessions over Zoom and chatting with people, which I think has been a nice outlet in a way to kind of have some sort of normality. We've done the Zoom quizzes as everyone has, which have been good, but yeah, it's difficult. I think it's difficult. After the announcement the other day, I think it's looking like there's light at the end of the tunnel, but again, it's a bit of a long way. I was happy watching that. I was skeptical to begin with, but then after hearing it and seeing it, I think everyone felt a bit more of a renewed sense of this is going to end at some point, which is going to lift the moods of people. What about you, Iz?
Yeah, just same vibes really. Like, this has been like the weirdest year to put out a record and to be in a band or to live. So I think I feel like on one hand quite lucky, on the other hand it's been like we've had some of the like weirdest 2 weeks of our lives. Like the last 2 weeks we've had some weird fucking news and it's been hard, like things that we can't really talk about yet, but I'm sure you'll find out about eventually. But it's just challenging. It's challenging when you're not in rehearsals and you're not leaving the house. Like, the reason why, like, they put people into solitary confinement as a punishment, right?
Mm.
And I think my dog's been keeping me sane, and I've managed to do a few bits and pieces here and there, but I definitely feel like I haven't done as much as I wanted to, or like hoped I could.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Like, 'cause obviously with the lockdown came your sort of rebrand as a band. Obviously the Instagram changed. I suppose the theme of the songs with the new albums changed. Do you think that was down to lockdown and sort of like it's how you've sort of kept sane by, you know, rebooting the band, I suppose?
Yeah, I think like social media, we definitely had time to kick it all up a gear. I mean, that said, it's like, it's just crazy now how many things we're trying to operate. Like, we launched Twitch the other day, like, we're doing Discord now too. We've got like a Japanese Facebook, Chinese Facebook, can't remember. And it's been quite like intense to do all of those things. And like, wait, one second, my dog's trying to eat my plate.
No problem.
It has been, it's been a weird one. You saying, was it, you know, the social media and stuff, was that down to lockdown? I think we had that sort of in the bag before we started, before the lockdown came in. Like we knew we wanted to ramp it up. We knew we wanted to change and the image that was being portrayed to change sort of narrative, and that was going to happen. And then lockdown hit and everything sort of changed in terms of what we could all do or be with each other and that sort of thing. So we then had to angle it slightly differently. But is right. Challenging is definitely right. It's been a weird one, but I think it's one of those ones you sink or swim. So just trying to keep at it.
Yeah, and also like there was a video of you burning your last album, which gained like a bit of momentum. Is that like, because I obviously we've listened to a new album, I was thinking it's definitely like a new direction for the band, but there is still something there for the fans that are already with you. I mean, for me, example, I saw you live I think 3 times now back in like 2017, 2018. I feel like this album offers still something for me who's been there for a while, but then sort of trying to venture into a new fan base.
It's going places. It's getting heavier. It's getting darker. It's got more meaning, I think. It's just one of those ones. Izzy's really good at going into this. The whole because I wasn't there for the first record, but the whole creative process going from that first record to then this record, I think was super healthy for all of the guys in the band, and to join during that process was a really nice thing to witness from the guys. And as you say, there's still stuff there for people who've been around for a while, but it was more about creating something that we were so happy with that elevated on the first record. And I think we're all in the band especially really felt like that was achieved. Is what you've got good views on this.
And my signal's really jank, so I just had to run to the nearer to the box because everyone was turning into robots.
All right, okay.
You can hear me all right?
Yeah, okay, good now.
I think you smashed that, dude. I think it just feels like it feels like a step up, but it also feels like Black Honey in its most raw sense of the idea of this kind of retro rock and roll band, but also feminist and cinematic, and having this kind of cult movie thing about it that just feels like us. And I just feel glad that it's something that we're still proud of a year down the line, because I think there's a lot of times artistically when you make something, it's just you get bored of it quickly or you don't like it anymore. And I've been shooting the Back of the Bar video this week, and I still like that song, and it's been on repeat for 3 days.
I actually made a little note. I put Back of the Bar will be a fan favorite.
Yeah, really, that's so cool to hear.
Definitely, just the whole way it portrays as a song and the energy around it. I can just feel a big crowd behind that song will be massive. And also, Izzy, you just mentioned about the movie. And Harry, you were saying the album's got a bit of a Tarantino vibe about it.
Yeah, I got that from the album cover and the album name and stuff like that. So that's really cool that they've gone down that route, etc. I thought, yeah, I like that. Was he like an inspiration behind it all, or was...
Or like, I like the way you die is a quote from Django Unchained, and it was fun to like put that into perspective of a female protagonist saying it. Just what's the weirdest thing that you could sort of say in a relationship in a sort of dangerous, powerful sense? I like the way you die, boy. Just like so ridiculous that like it was like fun to do, you know?
Yeah.
I like the way Tarantino portrays women. They're like complex and they're like baddies, and there's like a lot to them. And I think embodying like that kind of concept with the perspective that we approach to songs is sort of, it's like a bit of a blueprint for how we do it.
Yeah. It fell into place really nicely, didn't it? It felt like as the record, because you have this huge pool of tracks that you're choosing from, and you're thinking, this is great, this will make it, this won't make it, and then some come out of the woodwork and you think, wow, you know what, that really does sit well with that one. You listen to Beaches, and then you listen to I Like the Way You Die, and you've got this like this complex opposites, if you like, but then the feel of the album as a whole really gels together. And then the Tarantino vibe, this whole like it says, the retro movie vibe sort of is the skeleton of the record, and you can feel it as it goes through. And then deciding on the name of the record, we just I can't remember who said it. Is might know. It was like, if you can't outsmart them, outdone them. And then it was just like, why don't we just call it like Written and Directed by Black Honey? And it worked, and it was like, yep, that's it. Next.
I think with me, it sticks, doesn't it? It's just a short bang that's there, and yeah, I think that's quite cool.
Yeah.
Really, like, I was so convinced that like for ages I was like, surely someone's called their album Written and Directed, and I was like, no one's like stupid enough. Like, it has to be us.
Yeah, because I mean, a lot of bands nowadays put a lot of focus on singles, and I know you've done your Zoom listening parties, haven't you? Like early previews and stuff. But like, a lot of thought's gone into this album, whereas like a lot of bands nowadays just go for singles and then album filler. So like, have you tried to put together sort of like a collection of singles for this?
No, like we like suck so hard at choosing singles. I think it's been like a real thread that like a lot of people are like, there's never like one standalone song that we do, or if we try and make a song a standalone song, we'll often just be like wrong about it. So I think like the thing that's been cool about this record is like, we weren't expecting it, but I Like the Way You Die is kind of turning out to be like the biggest kind of moment on the record, and we thought it was cool. Like, we put it as track 1 on the album, but it's the playlisting that's changed the game for us, and it's the look, and it's the video, and it's like a lot of different things that I think have made that song like a bigger song or whatever.
Yeah, it's funny you saying about the back of the bar as well. Tommy, if he was here, would love you for that, because like Iz says, there's this pattern of like, you don't ever know what's going to go or what's going to be good, and you can, like it said, I Like the Way You Die, we knew was cool, but then it's like, is this the one? Could it be? Could it not be? And then you listen to the others, and you listen to it as a whole, and you can't put your finger on it, and then you think, okay, let's go with this one, and then that does its thing, and then the other one that you think, oh well, we'll just use that as the second, third, whatever, and then suddenly that takes off. Like, I Like the Way You Die, what was that, the third single, third or fourth, and it's now like it's surpassed all the other tracks for streams by like touching on nearly double on Beaches sort of thing. So it's a weird one.
How do you measure sort of success as a band? Because obviously you've been around a while. Because I know for you're very much a touring band, so you love playing live, and obviously you've not been able to do that. So with this album, how will you measure its success? Will it just be streams or digital copies, or will it be when you finally get back out and you see that emotion coming back from the crowd?
The most gratifying thing is when someone sort of sings to you and then maybe says like that song helped them with something difficult. Like, that's always the most rewarding. But like, we would be so dumb to ignore the fact that we had a big streaming breakthrough on like an entry level. Like, you know, we're not even big streamers. You know what I mean? Like bands don't stream particularly well, but for us, like this has been above and beyond our expectation, and we outsold album 1 in physical format in 72 hours or something. Like we would be like stupid to not appreciate that. Like we're an indie band, like we're like unsigned. Do you know what I mean? Like like we paid for our record ourselves, and like that is so huge to have like this weirdly kind of culty community of people that are just so fucking dedicated. And I'm like, why should people care right now? We're not playing shows, and like for me that's our art form. Like our primary art form is the stage, and I like it that way. And we're working super hard on some stuff behind the scenes at the moment to try and meet that. But to have a rewarding system that is like numbers, which is fucking lame, but it does feel good. Like I would be lying if I didn't say that we're stoked with it right now.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. I think you're right. I think
Brilliant. Sorry, carry on, Alex.
Not having the live shows is a weird one, because you, like is just mentioned, you look for like this gratification or in other places, and the streaming, to have it come through slightly has been one of those things where it's like, yeah, that it's really humbling that people are actually still into it, and we're not even on the road, and people were connecting with it, and you know, it could be doing something for someone that we won't ever know about until we go and do this live show again, which comes full circle with lockdown and everything coming out of that. When we do hit the road, I think it's just going to be that next level of, in terms of the record being great, and then everyone wanting to go to live shows, the whole vibe of gigging, seeing the streams do well. You mentioned it earlier, I think, Dan. It's like it's not one out of many. It's the whole, and being able to step back and look at it and be like, yeah, that's doing what we wanted.
Yeah, because like for you, the crowds at your gigs are normally like very loyal and very energetic. So I suppose getting back out there will be mega for you guys. There is something I would like to talk about, and Izzy, you sort of mentioned it earlier about like the feminism and powerful women. And as a female vocalist and the lead woman of the band, do you think you've faced any difficulties in terms of like booking festivals or like getting record deals or just anything? Because obviously we always hear about women in the music industry and how they're put down and how it is difficult. Obviously the lead singer Wolf Alice talking about the sexual allegations with Ozzy Osbourne, and was it Ozzy Osbourne? No, it wasn't, was it?
Manson, wasn't it?
Manson, yeah. Marilyn Manson, sorry. And obviously, like, as a woman, do you think you faced any difficulties?
I've like had dodgy shit, obviously. Like there's been all kinds of like just ridiculous bullshit that you endure, and also endure as a woman in a day-to-day society that is patriarchal. Like I think that's also worth acknowledging. Like the thing that's so funny is when you hear stories like, I remember some guy saying that he wouldn't sign us because Wolf Alice were gonna fail. I was just like, this is funny.
And now they're one of the biggest bands in the UK at the moment.
But fuck those cunts. Like, I mean, I feel like a steamroller. I feel like at this point, if anything was going to hold me back, it would have done by now. So there's like, I always feel so vulnerable as a woman, but at the same time, like, there's a strength to me that is like titanic, and that like no one can penetrate. And there's in knowing that, it's kind of, I don't know, there's something exciting.
Do you think you, like women look up to you in the industry?
Hopefully. I mean, I look up to so many women at all kinds of levels for so many different reasons. Like, this is just such a hugely educational process, this life, for everyone, isn't it? Like, I did not get into this being like, I'm going to be a feminist inspiring front woman. I literally was like, oh, that's guitar's cool. Like, let me give that a go. Like, not even thinking on that level. And to go from that to where we are now is awesome. Like, if I can change someone's life, then fucking A. And I believe that like people who have massive followings should do stuff like, and should try and inspire people and try and not do stupid shit. I mean, I'm gonna fuck up. Like, I know I'm gonna fuck up, and like I do stupid shit all the time, but at least I can try and inspire people or women or marginalized people to pick up a guitar or to like boss that interview or to just give them a bit of ferocity in a place that's basically told them that they're not valid.
Fantastic words. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Joining in as well and joining it and seeing it from behind the scenes coming in. It's like, Iz is a badass bitch, you know, and if we can get it going and then, you know, we've only done a handful of shows, but just seeing the connection that especially younger age people in the audience, the way that people, especially females, look up to is something really rewarding, knowing that there's a appreciation there and is totally is doing it just naturally. There's no, like as he said, oh, I'm going to go out and change the fucking world with it. It's just is being is, and people really looking up to it. And it's nice to see. I think it's needed more.
Definitely. So what advice would you have for young upcoming artists?
First and foremost, trust yourself. Like, you know if something's good or if something's really good. And if you think that something's good and no one cares about it, then you know that it needs to be better, and that's down to you. And like, you are your biggest critic to try and meet. At the same time, do not accept unsolicited advice from people that you don't trust. Like, make sure you keep those trusted people close and don't take people's shit.
And keep going.
Yeah, hard work, put the hours in, 10,000 hours.
Yeah, I believe in that entirely. Keep going. If you stop, they won't. Just keep going, even if it's shit. You know, you do it. If you got to suck at something to get really good at it, so if that's what it takes, you put the time in.
Fantastic. Well, I think we've got our title, Inspirational Quotes with Black Honey.
I was about to say that, like, this
Yeah.
this whole,
shall I invoice you after for the therapy?
Yeah, of course.
this whole like episode is just like full of like inspirational quotes that could be on like museum walls or something.
Literally. Have you got any final questions, Harry?
You know, I saw you play with Raw Blood. They lasted an arena tour. How was that? Like,
Unbelievable. It's like the shit you watch in documentaries. Like, you know, they always film that scene, and like all documentaries have it when they're like the stage and the pre-stage and then the walking to the stage and then it's, the lights go down and the crowd screams, and like you have all of that shit, but you just literally live it every single day. It's normal to the point where it's so normal that you kind of like forget what real life is. The other side of touring, which is a whole other myriad of confusing, depressing times to be had, but like just that it is like the rock and roll fairy tale, and like every good memory that we've had on tour and every friendship that was like leads somehow back to Mike and Ben. Every good story, and like the stories that Mike and Ben will tell you are just like, they're the best storytellers on a night out. They're the people that you want to sit in the back of the pub with and listen to, because they've always got something to say.
Fantastic.
So I remember on that tour. So I remember on that tour there was a Brighton date, wasn't there? And you're both from Brighton, aren't you? So what was it like doing like a hometown gig?
Oh my god, the worst. Like, it was so grim. Like, all of our friends were expecting guest lists, so there was like the biggest guest list. Everyone turned up late. There was like no room backstage because everyone was just like filling up all of the rooms. And then like I think like half of the audience like had seen us play like hundreds of times, so no one gave a shit. That's always, hometown shows are always a bit like that. London is definitely like that too. There's like a pressure of your friends like seeing you play. I don't know, it makes me more nervous.
What's been your favourite city to play in?
Like with Royal Blood or just in general?
Just as Black Honey.
Anywhere in the Netherlands is like insane. Like, we've toured so extensively there that it's like almost as much as England. And obviously like touring Korea and Japan was unbelievable. Another world. But then sometimes it's just like the weird places, like having a one-off show in Romania last year was just insane. Like we stayed in the Hilton, and there was like all of the bands were just like getting drunk in the hotel bar and the casino afterwards. You know, it's just stuff like that. I find it really funny when everyone's just like, I don't know, in a really weird setting somewhere strange, or living in a weird house up a hill, or fate or something. I don't know. All of the weirder ones I find fun.
Amazing. And what plans are going to be in place for this year? Because hopefully this summer, gigs, festivals, have you got any plans that you could share with us, or is it all a bit confidential at the moment?
So what we can tell you is that Boris has said 21st of June, and we've actually got a live show booked with Banquet Kingston on the 24th. There is like a very small handful of tickets available. Because it's after technically lockdown, we're going to try and make it so that it's ticketed to more people and open it up a bit more, because at the moment it's seated and it's all like now style COVID, or like
Right.
It's like sharing tables. You buy the table, and then you have to sit with another couple, and it's no more than sitting at the table.
might be able to release some more tickets for that, we're hoping.
Yeah.
We had some calls yesterday that looked super promising with our agent, but we cannot reveal like anything on that note yet. But
Stuff's in the works. There's stuff being worked on, and I think you'll find a lot of bands are probably in similar positions where there's a lot of talks going on behind the scenes to try and make something happen. So, as I said, the best we can say is keep your eyes peeled for
It all
it.
sounds very exciting.
Exciting stuff. So I suppose there's one last question. I think the viewers would be furious if I didn't ask this, but obviously you have decided to rebrand yourselves. You have changed it up. You burnt the first album, but will Corrine still be on the set list?
oh my god, like that song is like burnt into my skull.
I would... Sorry, carry on.
I was going to say it's probably safe to say that is going to be right in the mix. Forever.
Still gonna be like 100 playing that song.
You know, it's like Kings of Leon when they hate playing Sex on Fire, and they're all just like on autopilot, just like playing like half asleep doing it. We'll get there. Give it time. We'll all be at that point where it's just like, this is the tune. Everyone's brains are switched off, but it's still gonna go off.
Brilliant. Well, I'm sure it will, and I wish you guys the best with your release of the album, written and directed out. Is it 19th of March?
Much, baby.
Brilliant stuff. And yeah, once again, thank you for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Dan, thanks.
Sorry, guys.
Cheers, and cheers, Harry, also. Nice one.
It's Talk Tonight, the podcast of delights and